Hi, I'm Emily, she, her, hers, and we're going to be talking about this in this video. Predicates, quantifiers, logic. First thing, you should know that there are ways we can have this on our cheat sheet ready to go. I really suggest that. Just not all the English things need to come from our brains. We can have some of them already on the page like this. But more on that in exam review, so you should go. In this video, we're going to talk about homework 2, problem 5. So you should go right now, pause this video, read through this problem, go back and look at what you put for this problem. If you can't find your homework, you can find it on Gradescope. You should go look, and then come back to me. And I'm just going to sit here and pretend like you all did that and you all came back, even though I know some of you didn't. We're going to pretend like you did and keep moving. Okay, so we're not doing part A. We're going to write to part B. And this is quite a doozy of a statement. It is long. But like I said, we had those phrases we already knew how to put into English right away. And so even though this is incredibly clunky, the first thing I do is take every for all and there exists and write that in English. Write the clunkiest, terriblest English statement you can that's most similar to the for all. It's so hard to just look at that string of logic and pop it into a nice English sentence. I can't do that, but we don't need to. So if we read through this, it says, for all x, r of x, or for all x, there exists y, such that some stuff is true. That's actually like the bulk of our translation issues, is that recognizing where these for all x's and y's are. We can put this into English just by reading the stuff in the top right corner, but figuring out how the quantifiers work together is the hardest part. And this did actually a lot of the work for us. So to be honest, this is pretty close to what the Instructor solution is. It really just filled in the words for r of x and this right-hand part, which is kind of funny and kind of nice. And some of you who are hopefully looking at your solutions right now might be going, wait, I did so much more work. And also I have, well, actually, let's go through a couple common pitfalls that happened here. One was saying that for all classes, because remember x is classes, we either have r of x or some y that makes this stuff true. But that's not, there are two for alls here. We can't just put one in front. That's actually not the same sentence. When we evaluate this for its truth value, we're going to look at this left-hand side separately and this right-hand side separately, and they each have their own for all. So, common pitfall 1. If you did that, or if you're confused on what I'm saying here, I'm going to try not to make this video that long. So, you need to pause me right now and start to evaluate this left-hand side and this right-hand side using the table at the bottom. And then see how that's different if you imagine pulling the for all out. What kind of thinking do you do differently? Okay. Another common pitfall was mixing up the order of these quantifiers. So if we look just at the right-hand side, I wrote for all x, there exists a y. That means we are doing we can imagine two nested for loops here. And first one goes for all x in classes. So we're going to go through this 3 times because we have 3 classes. Is there some class y where this business is true? That's the level of thinking we need to go through. And so if we imagine stepping through this like our C++ debugger would, we would start with x being 203, and then we'd enter inside the for loop, and we'd ask this question: is there a class Y where this stuff is true? And then we would look through each of our classes. So we'd look at 203 and be like, okay, when x is 203 and y is 203, is this true? When x is 203 and y is math 115, is this business true? Same for physics 140. Now, do we need all three of these to be true? We just ask, is there some class, at least one? So as soon as we get one that works, if true, then break. And we're gonna get out of this inner for loop. We're gonna go back up to the top. X is then gonna be math 115, and so on. I almost asked for questions, but there's no one in this meeting. That is different than the statement, there exists X for all Y. If you're looking at your solution right now and you had something that like some class has, there's some class that every class has more students than, you did this. So if you have something like that, try to translate your answer into logic and see how that looks different. Okay, I gotta keep moving because I talk too much. Here's the instructor solution. I suggest you pause, read it. It's pretty also clunky, and that's okay. I'm not gonna talk about part C as much, but I will say common pitfalls is writing this along the lines of every class has more assignments than every other class. That kind of wording is really hard and weird and also doesn't quite make sense. So I suggest you try to rework your answer using an X and a Y. And when we write for all X for all Y, this is like that for loop again, for all X in classes. And then we're gonna do it again for all Y in classes. And then in here, we're gonna have X and Y as a pair, and we're gonna check the whole statement. And we need it to always be true every single time. Cool. I'm gonna call that good on this problem. And then the only thing I'd love to say is this is a slide with a lot of words. You should pause the video and read it. If this is totally out of left field and you're like, what is this talking about? You should make sure you go to exam review or watch the recording. This is a slide from exam review, day 1, and it's related to the previous problem, so I threw it in here, but I don't want this video to be super long. So watch An Amazing IA explain this in exam review. It's also in the lecture about predicates and quantifiers. Okay, that's all I have for you. I hope it's not too long. I didn't even time this. Anyway, I hope studying is going okay. Good luck. Get some sleep before the exam. Thank you. Bye. Wait, this isn't bye. How do I stop recording? I stop recording right here. Stop. No, not stop. Yes. Yay. Okay, now.